Hi everyone, for my placement I undertook it at Hillcrest Primary School within our Year 1 classroom. I taught 4 lessons on the science topic of sound. The prior knowledge was identified through group discussions as well as a before prior knowledge sheet, where this is what the students wrote in this section about what they already knew, and then after we'd done all of the lessons they could write what they knew from the lessons taught. During the group discussion, students were asked how or why we can hear sounds. Some of their answers were in our ears, because we just do. So there are limited knowledge there. And in the examples of the before and after sheet, students suggested shouting, stomping, and sounds are located everywhere. By introducing this topic, I used this large interactive book, My 5 Senses by Tracy Stefan, which discusses our 5 senses that we use on a daily basis and how we use them. The questions to inquire throughout the unit plan was, how does sound travel? As sound is produced, what allows us to hear it? How are we able to see sound being produced through vibrations? What materials within the shaker could the students use to make a loud or soft sound? Science inquiry skills targeted using the Australian curriculum were pose and respond to questions and make predictions about familiar objects and events. Students were able to make predictions about the shakers, deciding what materials they could use to make a soft or a loud sound. And this was done through hands-on experiences with having their lips touch and hum on the bowl to create the couscous to move from the vibrations. And they asked questions about what happens if we put our lips on a balloon that we were using to test the vibrations, as well as if we put our tongue on the bowl, what would that feel like? Students, the next one was participate in guided investigations to explore and answer questions. Exploring each station, they made comments about what they found out about it, what they investigated. They used a ruler on a desk, and as they flicked it and moved it across, it would obviously change the tone of it. And a student made the discovery, as I made the ruler move, it made a different sound, which we then discussed different tones and pitches about how different instruments can make different sounds and how we could make different sounds as well. The next one was use a range of methods to sort information, including drawings and provided tables, and through discussion compare observations with predictions and share predictions and observations with peers. Students made predictions about their experimenting, about what they were going to do, and also they discussed it after with their peers. They held up their shaker. One at a time, students came out the front and they showed their shaker, and they said whether it was a loud or a soft sound. So students each pulled a piece of paper out, and whether it said loud or soft determined the type of shaker they had to make. So they had to make a shaker, a soft one or a loud one, and students decided using the different things available: rice, buttons, pegs, Lego, cotton balls, bark, rice bubbles, matchsticks or sand to make either loud or soft shakers. And students made a prediction at the top corresponding to that. I believe placing buttons in the shaker will make a loud sound. My prediction was correct because it was loud. So this particular student, each student stood at the front and was able to show their shaker, say whether they thought it was going to be a loud sound or a soft sound using the materials. They shook it, and then the class said if it was going to be a loud sound, it was meant to be a loud sound, it was correct. If the prediction was correct, then it was a thumbs up, and if it was incorrect, it was thumbs down. There was only 3 students out of the 25 students within the class that made an incorrect prediction. They also made discussion about if the shaker was shook gently, it would make a softer sound, whereas if they shook it really hard, it could make a louder sound. So that made another focus point to discuss. The concept discussed across the unit plan was, as sound is produced via a source, it must travel through pressure waves generated through vibrations to allow detection of sound. The things that I've learnt while teaching the science investigations to the students is incorporating hands-on experiences for the students really capture their engagement, and they get a better understanding. And science is all about experimenting and seeing it hands-on rather than a lot of written tasks. Ascertaining prior knowledge really allowed me to understand what they already know and allowed me to plan accordingly. So being able to know that they didn't know why sound occurs and how it came about allowed me to introduce that through different activities. Essential part of investigations was incorporating collaborative working with one another. They worked in pairs, most activities, or in groups of 3. This allows for them to bounce off ideas from one another, as well as have discussions with one another. They were also able to discussing and sharing their findings really allows the students to have they get a sense of appreciation and being able to have their say and demonstrating what they've discovered throughout the investigations, and relating it back to the text. About what my planning was about. Scamp and Preston believe questioning students' existing concepts is an essential part for positive conceptual growth. This is shown through the before and after sheet. Concept mapping was important, as students can't write very well exactly what they're saying, so it meant that I had to go around and interpret what they were saying and write it down accordingly. But if they were able to visually describe what they had done, it was just another aspect for them learning. Fair and Gosgrove explains the crucial aspect of prediction, allows students to predict something and see if they're correct. Rather than just finding out the information, they were able to make a calculated guess, and they were able to check and see if it was correct. Scamp and Preston emphasises how vital it is to value students' interests and ideas. This was done through hands-on experience and connecting them with everyday ideas. Research shows that students will engage further if it's something they are interested in, and especially if it's hands-on experiences. Fair and Cosgrove state students need to be provided with adequate time to explore and make discoveries. This allows students to discover what they're doing and also have time to discuss with other people, as well as maybe try different avenues to work out exactly what they would like to find out. And it does take sometimes a little bit longer for other students to interpret what they are understanding, and this is essential to provide students with adequate time to do this. Thank you.